Minneapolis, and I asked him, I said, hey, you did my whole routine, I do it every time. And I sat down and had a whole meal with him. It was beautiful. And at the end of the meal, he told me that every year he eats there, and this is the day, and it was the anniversary of his wife's passing. It's the first time in 5 years anyone's ever even talked to him.
Oh my.
And it was just a beautiful, and I cried, and I posted on Facebook recently the story. And two friends from high school, who now are musicians, and I'm not, said, hey, let's write a song about this. And I immediately yes, let's do this. And I wrote the words, and they jumped in and helped me write some stuff. But this is the very first time I've ever done anything. This is only 4 days. 4 days. 4 days. So it's very, very new.
Very cool.
Welcome home.
Walked in that diner to get out of the rain. Never expecting what I found. Saw an old man sitting all by himself. I asked him if I could sit down. He looked at me with those calm blue eyes. A smile lit up his face. He gestured with an old tired hand, and across from him I found my place. He said, don't talk to strangers when your heart is on the mend. Their pain is always for free. So you see, son, I'm not eating here alone. I'm sitting here with a memory. We're gonna try that chorus again. He said, don't talk to strangers when your heart is on the mend. Their pain is always meant for free. So you see, son, I'm not eating here alone. I'm sitting here with a memory.
Nice. Yeah.
I sat and listened to stories from his past. He told me about his true love. A peaceful jealousy coursed through my veins. Would I ever be enough? He said, don't talk to strangers if your heart is on the mend. Their pain is always meant for free. So you see, son, I'm not eating here alone. I'm sitting here with her memories.
Very nice. Yeah.
I've got a lot of work to do on it, but
Thank you.
No, you.
just
I've
for
been
you.
begging for that song. I was like, it's such a good song.
I don't know it very well. I'm still learning it.
Yeah.
You got a great start.
Strangers, the new one.
It's brand new. Yeah,
Brand new, like within a couple days.
yeah, brand new.
Wow,
Oh, really?
That's a great start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you need to keep writing.
Keep going.
That's what I told him.
Keep offering to sit with people.
What's that?
They keep offering
Just
to
sit
Oh,
with
you know,
people.
you just have the most beautiful moments
Yeah.
when you're not afraid to say hi.
Yeah.
Just say hi and sit down and talk to
Absolutely, you
somebody.
can have.
And then when I met with him, I mean,
Is that
I cried at the end of that meal. I just
I know it helps that.
and he offered to pay, and I was
Sure.
like, no, we're not doing that.
No.
But I do it all the time.
Well, it was an
I'm
extra.
always sitting with strangers because I don't like eating alone. But I
It's
always
dark,
find
too.
somebody who's eating alone. And the thing is, you don't want it to be sexual. So you're like, hey, let's find somebody. I don't want them to think I'm flirting with them.
Right.
So that's like a weird balance. So you're just like, hey, and I have the same line. I'm like, hey, you're eating alone. I'm eating alone. Let's eat alone together. And it gets a little chuckle, and then we sit and laugh. And we talk about it. Like, oh, ha. So the only deal is I won't eat with you unless we both pay for our own meals.
Yeah.
Because it's always somebody's like, oh, I feel like I should pay for your meal. And that makes it awkward.
Yeah. Okay.
That is good.
It's fun. But that one man Like when he was there on his anniversary, his wedding anniversary, and I just bawled. Couldn't do it.
That's good for you too.
Talking about Stewart again, a song I wish I could, that I haven't learned, but would like to, is Erica's song, which started with him going into a bar in late afternoon to get a beer, and this woman follows him in. And when he sits down with the beer, she says, "Are you going to buy me a beer?" He says, "Yeah, I'll buy you a beer if you'll tell me a story."
Straight.
And so she told him the story that became the basis of this really good song, which I won't attempt right now, but
Who
check
wrote
it out.
it?
Stewart Michael Burns.
Stuart
He's the one that
Burns,
passed recently.
Earlier round I played one of his songs.
Yeah.
He died in December, but Erica is the name of the song.
Yeah, I've heard him do it a couple of times, and it's priceless.
Yeah.
And was he through here? Did he come through the festival?
Well, here's the deal. I would be sitting here some nights, and nothing was happening.
Right.
People were walking by, and there was some circles going on, but there weren't going on here.
Right.
And pretty soon John Stetson would show up over here, and we'd sit down and talk for a while. And then Stuart and Susan would come walking down the road.
Yeah.
Stuart always made a beeline in here. And he would sit there, and Susan would sit there. And Susan said the other day, "Thank you for letting me sit in a songwriter's chair," because Stuart would have rather had it that way. But anyway, he would sit down, and John and I and Stuart would start trading Steve Goodman songs.
Oh, okay.
And we all three know quite a few. How many of you know off your
Oh,
head?
I have no idea.
I've got about 15 that I've done in shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with them. Stuart had at least 8 or 9, and we would just go round and round. And in the night, I'm expecting somebody to come in and sit down and join us.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
It was always just the 3 of us and Susan,
It's magical.
and it was magical. And it happened more than once. It almost happened one festival at a time. Every festival, we had one day when that happened.
That's cool.
My name is Erica. I walk these streets from Bonnie's to the Silver Dollar Bar. If you sit down, stranger, and you buy me around, I can tell you how we got to where we are.
That's great. But has nothing to do with this song that you're going to play.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
And now I'm gonna play a song about plums.